think with David's presentation today, I wanted to ask how the PTC process of recommending purchasing the lift happened, despite Davy's recommendation not to buy it and the family engineer's recommendation to budget for a more expensive lift.
Commission? We'd be happy to provide you that documentation. That is a matter that came before council, and we've got minutes of those meetings that we'd be happy to provide you.
Yeah, I was asking about the PTC's recommendation to purchase the lift, and the Reservoir Hill Task Force. That's how it was a recommendation from them to purchase the lift, and then the council decided to purchase.
All that is documented in the minutes. Is there something specific in that recommendation you're wanting to know about?
Well, I guess I was curious if we have, the most learned person in this field in the county here, and recommending not to go ahead with the purchase, and then we decided to purchase it. I was just asking how that happened.
Council, in their judgment, thought it was a prudent investment, and because the lift was purchased for the cost of the transportation, dismantling the transportation of the lift. And at the time, council thought that was a prudent investment. And we will have, in the future, additional information provided to council regarding how that piece of equipment might fit into the plans for Reservoir Hill. So,
I was asking more about the PTC's recommendation, and I'm not questioning the town council's decision to buy the lift, but it was all the research and the background work was done by the PTC and the task force, and their decision was to recommend purchasing, despite what Davey just said, that you had a couple of experts recommending not to purchase. So I was asking about how the process came down that the PTC decided to recommend purchasing.
Going back about 20 months at this point, so I do not recall exactly. I believe that we came before council when the opportunity arose, that the lift was available, and we got council's input at that time whether or not they wanted us to go to Kuchara and investigate the lift in person, and then after we did go to the site visit in Kuchara, we came back to council with the information that we found. And at that point, it was their decision to acquire the lift or not.
Yeah, I guess I wasn't sure if the site visit that you referred to was after the purchase or before the purchase. I guess I've been to the Reservoir Hill business plan presentations, and I've seen almost universal negative reaction to those plans, and then to hear people like David Pitcher, who's an expert in the field, also have a negative reaction. I haven't seen from the task force or the PTC any change of course or looking for alternatives or...
At this point, we've not been tasked by council to make changes to the plan. I believe that'll be a future discussion with town council. And at that time, council will direct the PTC as to how they want to proceed.
And I saw in your minutes that it was mentioned in your minutes that we will be deciding something on the Reservoir Hill project at the mid-May meeting?
I believe that has been discussed. I'm not. The agenda's been...
Reservoir Hill during May mid-month meeting.
That was the update I had as of last week, but until the agenda is published, I'm not sure if it will be on that date. We did go to Fort Lewis College yesterday, and 3 students have reviewed the business plan and the information, and we went to their class presentation on that. So I believe that may be the next thing that comes before council is their presentation to you guys with their findings.
Wayne Walls. I have a question. Apparently, there was no cost for the equipment. It just involved the cost of dismantling it and transporting it here. How much did that cost? $42,000. David?
At $42,000? For the lift, I thought that was more.
It's either 42 or 43,000. I thought it was 42.
I was thinking 48 was in my head, and I just looked up in the budget, and in 2010, we had 49,000 for Reservoir Hill Park development. Unless there were
If I
other
recall
costs.
correctly, it was 43,000.
That's my.
42 or 43,000 for what?
There may have been
Other
other
things
expenses.
associated in that.
I guess.
I don't think there was any, I don't think.
Well, we spent 49,000 in 2010 on Reservoir Hill Park development, so.
Well, it may
Just for
have,
clarification.
we may have, well, that probably includes other expenses other than the levy. We spent $6,000 developing refining roads.
Okay. In 2010 or last year?
We had
6,000 was on here for 2011.
And, yeah, that was 2011. We had, other expenses related to the two music festivals in 2010 as well. The ongoing expenses on those.
I just saw the 49 as for the specific line items. So wondering.
I believe 14,000 is correct. It might be 43, but the rest of it's other expenses.
Nicole Marco, and just following up on that, was there a bidding process for someone to dismantle and transport the lift? Was that open for bids, or did that just go to Mr. Hart?
Actually, didn't all of them miss hard. There was several of the vendors in town that had large equipment moving trailers participated in that effort. I think Mr. Hart's company provided the lead on it. And did go to bid. I don't know that it did. I don't recall. I don't believe so.
Thank you.
Thanks very much, Mayor and Council. Dan Hart. I too am very in favor of development on Reservoir Hill. I think there's some great projects that I've heard spoken about. The amphitheater, for me, sounds like a great one. But I do have to say that I'm very shocked also in listening to recommendations brought forward by Mr. Pitcher, and to think that they were kind of, it seems like maybe they were disregarded or just unheard. I'm not exactly sure what happened, but I think it may be a good thing for the community to learn more about this. It seems like there's quite a bit of interest in this matter, and we need to dig into this a little bit. And certainly develop, do some fine development, and I think there's some good things. Thank you for that.
Trustee Cotton?
In defense of the town tourism commission, when this all went down, and I may not remember the exact substance, I think the purchase was made before Mr. Pitcher was kind enough to come down and give us some input on what might happen. So to infer that we did something after Davey was kind enough to talk to us, I don't believe it's true. The purchase was made because at that point we thought it was a good buy. It turned out that it isn't. But certainly we didn't.
I had spent time on Reservoir Hill with the city manager prior to the purchase. And, when the city council had the meeting and the idea of purchasing the lift came up, I was here. I spoke publicly about my concerns, and not about Reservoir Hill, about the chairlift. I want to be clear on that. I think Reservoir Hill has a lot of potential, as Dan mentioned. What that potential is, I think needs to be looked at carefully by the community, and in particular when there's big debt, big ticket items that the city could get into, becoming involved in a recreational endeavor with equipment. It's atypical for cities to run amusement parks, and that's really what I'm seeing being proposed. But irregardless of that, when the Kachara lift came up for sale, I did speak to caution on that at the council meeting, and I felt that it wasn't appropriate to jump into it, and that did fall to some degree on deaf ears. I don't think it's the end of the world. The time that the city council made the decision to purchase the lift, the cost of the lift wasn't at that time perceived to be by the city council as a big ticket item. It's probably still got value, but that particular lift is not going to work on Reservoir Hill because of the size and the age of it, without a lot of time and expense. And I just want to be clear on that, because the used lift is probably not adequate for any.
Mr. Alley?
Davey, you said twice now that it probably has some value, in your opinion, not maybe on it, but if you give us an estimate of what that value might be?
Market value for chairlift is what somebody's willing to pay, and Pagosa was willing to pay with the transportation. At the time, it was $30,000, and then the $10,000 was for getting it to Pagosa. So now it's worth $42,000 to Pagosa. There's Midwestern ski areas that have less constrictive rules and regulations. There could be potential for a small ski area that want to purchase it somewhere. There's brokers that do list these things, and there's websites that have the potential, and I really feel that would be a good thing to do is put it out there, get it on the market, and allow the time that it takes for these other ideas and the studies that are being done to see if a realistic approach for Reservoir Hill with a realistic price for equipment is really something that the city council wants to embrace.
Thank you very much. Before you go, Mr. Pitcher, I'd like to have just make some comments about while you're there, and I want to take the opportunity that the town is very thankful, grateful for what you do and your participation with your equipment and stuff. So I just hadn't had a chance to thank you for that. But and that's what the river restoration I'm talking about.
Yeah, I agree.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.